All right, guys, good morning. I'm going to walk you through how you actually get started with something called virtual business. And inside of virtual business, we're going to be working on one of the simulations called personal finance. So you're going to have a couple different resources for you. You're going to have this video that is going to walk you through setting up your account and getting started. And then you're also going to be able to have this file that is set up in case you don't really need the video and you would actually just like to take a look at the instructions that are going to be right on here. So I would imagine that probably most of you, considering this is an introduction to business class, probably have not used virtual business yet. So that's how we're going to treat it. If you find that you actually have an account already, I will be happy to answer questions and make sure that you know how to do that. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to go to this website, knowledgematters.com. So knowledgematters.com. So go ahead and pause this for a second. Make sure you get to the site, and then also make sure you get the S on the end of that Knowledge Matters, and also that this is the site that we're trying to go to. Once you get to the site, you're going to notice you're going to come on over here and you're going to go to sign in. So whenever you choose sign in, you're actually going to most likely be a new student. So you're going to come on over here. You're going to choose register now. When you register now, we always recommend for everybody to please use your school email and then also just whatever your school password is for this year. And a lot of times, students will ask me like, oh, well, what's my password? What's my password? It doesn't show me what your password is, but it's the easiest thing. I can reset your password if you get logged out, but I don't think it's that deep. So I think you can actually just use your school email and your school password. So go ahead and pause the video right now, go in, create an account. And then the next thing it's going to ask you for is what course you'd like to join. It's going to ask you for a course key, but pause the video for a second so that way you can get in and create an account. All right, so when you get in there and it's going to ask you for your course key is actually going to be right here. So you can find it. I'm going to read it to you and I'll show you the other place you can find it. So it's P as in Peter, J as in Jack, 6, X, Y as in yellow, and the number 7. That's what you're going to enter for your course key. You can also find that on this little assignment sheet right down here by number 3, and you can just copy and paste that if you would rather do it. Once you get into that, it's going to actually put you into our course right here, which is going to be our personal finance course. Mine's going to look a little different, so let me switch over to the student view. So when I switch over to the student view, yours is going to look very similar to this with the different shades of gray in the table, but because you're looking at my screen, which is going to be the instructor view, all of my things here are going to be filled in. So we have to play a little bit of a trick on this to get us started. We're going to first, for our simulation tutorial, we're not really going to do it because I'm walking you through this, but we have to trick the system that we've actually done the tutorial. So we're going to come into view tutorial. It's going to open up for us. If you would like to do this, you're more than welcome, but I'm actually going to come on over and I'm just going to close out of that. And what you're going to notice on your screen is when you close out of that, that it's now going to open up your reading activity from your shopping lesson. So we're going to ask you to do the reading quiz, and also run the simulation. So let me show you how that works first. On your screen, you're only going to be able to see reading, and it kind of works the way the tutorial did, that you have to actually get into it first. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. You can see that it's kind of, similar to like an online textbook sort of thing like this. I would say it's equivalent to about 2 to 2.5 pages. We're going to actually use this kind of like as our notes, or as we said, sort of like our online textbook. So I'm going to leave that up. I'm not actually going to close it, but I'm actually going to come on back over to my software program for today. And I'm going to notice that now that I opened it, I'm going to be able to access my reading quiz. So when I come into the reading quiz, I'm going to basically treat this more as a learning activity, not so much an actual quiz. So you're more than welcome, while you work on this quiz, you're more than welcome to come on in and access your reading. So you can come on down through here, and then you can come on back over and you can access your reading quiz. For me, I was actually just popping right down to my toolbar, and I was pulling up the different screens that I had in Google Chrome, but you could also tile your screen. To tile your screen, you click and hold on the title bar, drag it all the way over to the right. It's going to snap over here, and then I can come on in. Who knows what else I have pulled up? And then I can actually pull this all the way over to the left, and it's going to snap over here to the left. And if I'd like to resize it, then I can come on down and resize it if I would like to do that. I'm struggling today. So anyways, so if you would like to do that, that's a quick way. That's a quick way that you can do that. So when you complete your reading quiz, you're going to have to get a minimum score of 80%. If you don't get a minimum score of 80%, you can retake it as many times as possible. And then the last thing it's going to open up for you is going to be the simulation. And so it's going to say run sim. So same thing, we're going to come on into the simulation. And let me just give you a quick idea of how we're actually going to do this. So what's really cool about the simulation is that it's going to walk us over here on the left-hand side. It's going to walk us through all the steps that we actually need. So we can see in this, there are going to be 6 different steps that we're going to work through before we actually run the simulation on our own. What I'm going to be looking at are my instructions on the left-hand side. Right here in the middle, I'm going to be able to see my city and my businesses that I'm working for. And when it talks about different things that you should select and pull down, they're going to be right over here on the right. And then what happens is inside of here, you can see on this one, that it's only going to have turned on the things that we're learning how to do in this shopping lesson. So you really can't mess it up because it actually just has that. And then under reports, it's going to tell you exactly what to do. One of the other things we need to know is that if you've ever played SimCity, you know that you have to run the time, and you're going to do that right up here. So you can see that these 3 items can help you out with that. This is going to start it. We could actually set a specific date or time that we want to run it to. Get out of that. And then also this is the speed of how fast you actually want that to go. And then here's where we are at this time. So we're currently on Tuesday, January 5th, 2027. So right over here to get started, I'm gonna come on down through and I'm gonna read these instructions. So owning certain possessions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In this case, it doesn't tell me to do anything right here. So I'm gonna click next. All right, now in the step 2, it actually is gonna tell me what to do. So let's get started with checking your current health. We're going to go reports health to view our current health. I'm going to find that over here on the right, reports health, and it's going to ask me what color my current sleep is. All right, so sleep is going to be yellow for me. Right over here, yellow, I got a green check, I'm all good. It is going to tell you if you select something and you're not right. It's not letting me do it right now. So it's going to let you know if you're not right. After that, I'm going to hit next, and now it takes me to step 3. So once I get through all of the steps, it's going to then put me in a situation where I'm going to run the simulation on my own. The biggest mistake that people make is that they don't actually read this and they just click until they get the right answer. And then when you run the simulation, it's probably going to be very frustrating for you because you didn't actually practice or learn any of the different things. Okay, so once you're all done, the system saves everything automatically, and it also records everything that you've done. So I'll be able to see how many attempts you've made, if you have any problems, anything like that. When you're working on this, if you run into any issues, please make sure you reach out. I'm happy to help you get started with it or solve any problems. All right, good luck.